In a city that never sleeps, thunder roars, and the storm begins. Two legends rise from the shadows. One, a man forged from steel, his body an unbreakable fortress, Colossus, the metallic titan of the X-Men. The other, born from the fire of the streets, his skin unbreakable, his will unshakable, Luke Cage, Harlem's unbreakable protector. When destiny turns brotherhood into battle, the city itself trembles. Every punch cracks the earth. Every blow echoes through the storm. Steel meets skin. Power meets pride. And when the smoke clears, only one will still be standing. Because in this war of strength and spirit, even heroes must prove what truly makes them unbreakable. The night was heavy with rain as thunder rolled across the New York skyline. Streets shimmered under flickering streetlights, and the air carried the electric pulse of an oncoming storm. In the heart of Harlem, two colossal figures faced each other across a deserted street, their silhouettes cast in silver and gold by the burning wreckage nearby. Luke Cage wiped blood from the corner of his lip, his yellow shirt torn and soaked from the downpour. Across from him stood Colossus, his entire body gleaming with organic steel. He was silent, still, almost statuesque, a metallic giant whose very presence made the air hum. "You sure you want this, big man?" Luke's voice was low, steady, and full of that street-born confidence. Colossus didn't flinch. "I do not want this fight, Luke Cage," he replied in his deep Russian accent. "But I cannot let you stand in the way of saving those people." Behind them, a laboratory fire raged, the result of a failed experiment that had unleashed chaos in the neighborhood. Both heroes had arrived to stop it, but their methods collided. Pride, purpose, and power, all combusting in one explosive moment. Luke smirked. "Then I guess we do this the hard way." He moved first. A blur of muscle and fury, he lunged, his fist connecting squarely with Colossus's jaw. The sound was deafening, like a hammer striking an anvil. Colossus staggered slightly, then turned back toward Luke with a grin. "Good," he said softly. "Now it is my turn." The counterpunch came like a thunderclap. Colossus's fist slammed into Luke's chest and sent him flying through the air, crashing into a parked car. Metal crumpled, glass shattered, and the ground trembled beneath them. Luke groaned, rising to his feet. His skin was uncut, his body nearly invincible, but the impact rattled his bones. "You hit like a damn freight train." Colossus took a step forward, rain sizzling as it hit his glowing steel skin. "And you stand like a wall." "I respect that." Luke charged again, fists pounding against Colossus's chest in a furious rhythm. Each blow echoed across the block, denting steel, cracking pavement, shaking the windows of nearby buildings. But Colossus hardly moved. His strength was relentless, his endurance unnatural. "Impressive," he said, grabbing Luke by the shoulders. "But you fight with anger, not control." He swung, tossing Luke across the street and through a storefront window. The glass exploded outward as Cage hit the floor inside. Sirens wailed in the distance. From the rooftops, bystanders filmed in disbelief. "Yo, that's Luke Cage," someone shouted. "And that's the metal guy from the X-Men." The rain intensified, pounding against the asphalt as Luke crawled out from the shattered store, brushing shards of glass off his skin. "You hit harder than I thought, Tin Man." Colossus stepped closer, his eyes steady and almost sad. "Then stop making me do it." Luke didn't listen. He sprinted forward and tackled Colossus with all his might, driving him backward into the street. The impact cracked the ground. For a brief moment, Luke was on top, raining punches that blurred with speed and power. Colossus grunted, blocking what he could, but each hit echoed like thunder. "Stay down," Luke shouted, driving one final punch into the metal man's chest. But Colossus didn't stay down. He pushed back, rising to his full towering height, his eyes glowing faintly in the storm. "I cannot." He grabbed Luke by the arm, lifted him effortlessly, and slammed him into the pavement. Once, twice, the shock waves rippled through the block, setting off car alarms. Luke gasped, his lungs screaming for air. "You're not human." "Perhaps not entirely," Colossus said, "but I still fight for humanity." Both men paused, breathing hard, the rain washing over them. Luke straightened, rolling his shoulders. "I fight for my people, For Harlem, Colossus nodded slowly. And I fight for everyone, even those who do not understand me. Their words hung in the air. Two philosophies, two worlds colliding. Then they charged again. Luke swung fast, furious, fueled by grit and rage. But Colossus had the edge of discipline, years of training, precision born from the X-Men's battlefield experience. He blocked, countered, anticipated. For every punch Luke threw, Colossus had an answer. The fight tore through the street, down into a subway entrance. Tiles shattered, steel rails bent under their combined power. Luke smashed Colossus into a support beam. The concrete cracked, sparks showering from broken lights. I admire your strength, Colossus said, brushing debris from his shoulder. But strength without focus is wasted. Guess we'll see about that. Luke shot back. He lunged again, shoulder first. The two collided with earth-shaking force, crashing through the floor and dropping into a maintenance tunnel below. Dust and sparks filled the air as they landed in the darkness, surrounded by the hum of broken power lines. Colossus rose first, holding a bent steel rail like a weapon. His metallic skin glowed in the flickering orange light. Luke staggered to his feet, panting, his chest heaving. "You don't scare me," Luke said. "You should not be scared." Colossus replied, "You should be ready." Colossus swung the rail. Luke ducked, countering with a punch that dented the steel giant's ribs. For a second, Colossus froze, surprised. Luke grinned. "Didn't think I could dent you, huh?" Colossus smiled faintly. "I was holding back." His next swing came faster, harder. The rail connected with Luke's side, launching him into the wall. The concrete shattered, burying him in rubble. Dust and silence filled the tunnel. Colossus stood motionless, his breath steady. The sound of dripping water echoed in the dark. He turned, ready to leave. Then a rumble. A chunk of debris exploded behind him. Luke Cage burst free, his shirt shredded, blood streaking down his arm. "You think I'm done? I'm Luke Dan Cage." Colossus turned, his expression grim. "Then prove it." They collided once more, fists meeting like meteors. Every strike sent ripples through the tunnel, shaking the ground. Luke landed blow after blow, each one fueled by heart and desperation. For the first time, Colossus felt real pain, cracks forming in his steel skin. But when Luke faltered for even a breath, Colossus struck back. A devastating uppercut lifted Luke off his feet, slamming him into the ceiling. Before he could recover, Colossus brought his fists down in a final crushing blow that sent Cage sprawling into the rail pit below. Sparks erupted as his body hit the live wires, glowing briefly before falling still. The tunnel went silent. Colossus stood over him, rainwater dripping through cracks above. His expression softening, he knelt beside Luke, placing a massive hand on his shoulder. "You fought with honor, Luke Cage. Few men could stand as long as you have." Luke groaned, barely conscious, a weak grin forming on his face. "Guess I'm one of the few." Colossus nodded solemnly. "Yes, you are." He rose and began to walk toward the stairs, his footsteps echoing through the ruined tunnel. Outside, dawn was breaking, the first golden light spilling over the horizon. Hours later, the streets of Harlem were filled with first responders. Firefighters doused the last of the flames while police cordoned off the wreckage. Civilians were being led to safety. From a nearby rooftop, Colossus watched silently. His body was still streaked with dents and scorch marks, but his eyes were calm. Below, Luke Cage was on his feet again, helping lift debris off a trapped family. Their eyes met across the distance. No words were needed. Colossus raised a hand in silent respect. Luke nodded back, the faintest smile breaking through his exhaustion. They were different, one forged in steel, the other hardened by struggle, but both unbreakable in spirit. And though the world might debate who was stronger, only they knew the truth of that night. Colossus had won the battle, but both had earned something greater: respect. As the first light of morning bathed the city in gold, the steel giant turned away, disappearing into the mist, leaving Harlem standing proud behind him. Because sometimes, even when steel triumphs, it's heart that leaves the deeper mark.